The noise figure of FET circuit is A. Independent of the quiescent point. B. Dependent on the quiescent point only. C. Dependent on the triggering mechanism. D. Independent of all above. The correct answer is independent of the quiescent point. The circuit diagram shown in the figure consists of transistors in A. Parallel connection. B. Cascade connection. C. Darlington connection. D. Series connection. The correct answer is parallel connection. The encapsulation of transistor is necessary for A. Preventing radio interference. B. Preventing photo emission effects. C. Avoiding loss of free electrons. D. Mechanical ruggedness. The correct answer is mechanical ruggedness. The circuit of figure is called A. Current mirror. B. Voltage mirror. C. Impedance inversion. D. Phase splitting. The correct answer is current mirror. In CE, approximately the active region is where the collector curves are A. Almost horizontal. B. Almost vertical. C. Inclined at 45. D. Inclined at 60. The correct answer is almost horizontal. In a transistor, leakage current mainly depends on A. Doping of base. B. Size of emitter. C. Rating of transistor. D. Temperature. The correct answer is temperature. In a CB amplifier, the maximum efficiency could be A. 99. B. 85. C. 50. D. 25. The correct answer is 25. When a transistor is connected in common emitter mode, it would have A. Negligible input resistance and high output resistance. B. High input resistance and low output resistance. C. Medium input resistance and high output resistance. D. Low input resistance as well as output resistance. The correct answer is medium input resistance and high output resistance. The signal input to a given amplifier is made up of 100 M signal power and 1 M noise power. The amplifier contributes an additional 100 M of noise and has a power gain of 20 dB. The input signal to noise ratio is A2, B10, C20, D100. The correct answer is 100. In all base driver amplifiers, AC collector voltage is 180 out of phase with AC base voltage. AC emitter voltage is 180 out of phase with AC base voltage. AC collector voltage is in phase with AC base voltage. D. None of the above. The correct answer is AC collector voltage is 180 out of phase with AC base voltage. The horizontal intercept of DC load line is the same as ideal. A. Cutoff point. B. Saturation point. C. Operating point. D. Quasi-saturation point. The correct answer is cutoff point. Figure represents A. NPN transistor. B. PNP transistor. C. Zener diode. D. Power diode. The correct answer is NPN transistor. In deriving AC equivalent circuit for an amplifier circuit, we short circuit A. All resistors. B. All transistors. C. All inductors. D. All capacitors. The correct answer is all capacitors. Which of the following statements is false? A. Push-pull signals are equal and opposite in phase. B. Class AB operation cannot be used for a push-pull audio power output phase. C. A push-pull output transformer has a center-tapped primary. D. All of the above. The correct answer is Class AB operation cannot be used for a push-pull audio power output phase. Which of the following amplifier circuit using junction transistor has the best gain? A. Common base. B. Common emitter. C. Common collector. D. All have the same gain. The correct answer is common emitter. In an op-amp differentiator, the amplitude of output is proportional to rate of change of input. B. The amplitude of output is proportional to input. C. Output occurs when input is finite and constant. D. Polarity of input and output is the same. The correct answer is the amplitude of output is proportional to rate of change of input. In switching devices, gold doping is used to A. Improve bonding. B. Reduce storage time. C. Increase the mobility of the carrier. D. Protect the terminals against cooperation. The correct answer is reduce storage time. In a BJT amplifier circuit, the size of coupling capacitor depends on A. Lowest frequency. B. Highest frequency. C. Average of lowest and highest frequencies. D. None of the above. The correct answer is lowest frequency. A silicon sample A is doped with 1018 atoms cm3 of boron. Another sample B of identical dimensions is doped with 1018 atoms cm3 of phosphorus. The ratio of electron to hole mobility is 3. The ratio of conductivity of the sample A to B is A 3, B 1 3, C 2 3, D 3 2. The correct answer is 1 3. Which of the following circuit has the greatest bandwidth? A. FR 455 MHz Q10. B. FR 455 MHz Q100. C. FR 1 MHz Q100. D. FR 1 MHz Q10. The correct answer is FR 1 MHz Q10. A FET is a controlled device, whereas a bipolar transistor is a controlled device. A. Gate drain. B. Drain gate. C. Current voltage. D. Voltage current. The correct answer is voltage current. Two identical FETs, each characterized by the parameters Gm and Rd, are connected in parallel. The composite FET is then characterized by the parameters A and 2Rd, B and C 2Gm and D 2Gm and 2Rd. The correct answer is 2Gm and. The V MOS can handle currents than a conventional MOSFET. A. Much lower. B. Almost same. C. Almost half. D. Much larger. The correct answer is much larger. Which mode is usually preferred for cascading? A. CE. B. CB. C. CC. D. Any of the above. The correct answer is CE. A certain transistor has a DC of 0.98 and a collector's leakage current of 5A. If IE1 Ma, the base current will be A 35A, B 25A, C 15A, D 5A. The correct answer is 15A.